day. And as I was about to give you your plan for today, I think it's pretty interesting that it's probably occurring right now. So, what I was looking at for tomorrow, I usually tell you what I'm looking at for tomorrow later, but it's kind of happening in current time right now. But we put in a low today at 73, 58.73. So, we'll just call this yesterday's low because that will be tomorrow, obviously. So yesterday's low came in at 58.73, and I was going to tell you guys that if we put in a dip to about 65 or so and recover the 73 low, probably be enough to propel us back up the levels again, probably to Tuesday's low, and maybe even where we broke down from today, which was the 59.45 level. But currently looks like we are putting in that setup as I speak. So if this holds here, because we already got our liquidation of our base, and if this holds here, we can get a pretty substantial move. I would say the next level up is 58.93. So if this level holds here, 58.93 would be next up, and you'll get a nice explosive move back up the levels. We've had 6 days of straight down and red days, so I don't anticipate us continuing that theme for a 7th day, but as always, no predicting. But a short squeeze is always around the corner, and in real time as I'm making this video, ES is doing what it normally does right before it puts in its major short squeeze. It's usually we put in a low, we retest the low, bulls get long, thinking this candle is a signal candle that we're about to move higher. They liquidate, bulls get stopped out, recover the low, and then take off to the upside. It's the same script over and over again. And if you've been watching this as long as I have, you've seen this story for quite some time. It's been happening over and over again. And if it becomes a shock to you, then you clearly haven't been watching ES long enough, because it does the same thing over and over again. So I recommend you make note of how this process usually works. Liquidation, recovery, off to the upside. And typically, newer traders will see a low get put in. They'll see a retest of somewhere close to the low. They'll get long, and now you're long, like, we'll say, a good amount of points above the low, like let's say 10. And they liquidate you completely, and you're like, oh, I should have been short. And the market's going down. Then they recover, and then you're just confused, and you're feeling all sorts of emotion. And just watching this in real time, it just shows you that just how people get trapped, and then how the substantial moves actually happen. We're watching this happen in real time. This candle went from deep red to basically almost green, all within a 15-minute span. But enough of that. Just know, as long as that low holds, there'll be a move back up to, we'll call it 93, first level up, and then so on and so forth. I don't think it'll stop there, but recover 93 with some momentum. Now that you have the false breakdown set up, you'll get a substantial move back higher. But enough of that. Let's get on to today's action. Today's action was very interesting. I had said that 77.5 is our pivot, and in the overnight session, we got below it, recovered it, accepted it for a little bit, and once we got above it with some momentum, we ran from 77.50. We ran all the way up to a high of 60.14.50, which was a significant low from a week's prior, I would say. And then it was resistance. We came back down. We false broke down yesterday afternoon's low, which is interesting, right? Because I posted that I wasn't interested in anything other than a breakdown of the 45 low in recovery, or a breakdown of the 24 low in recovery. We got the 45 low breakdown and recovery, and it just absolutely ripped higher. Funny enough, though, we got it a second time at about 12.15, where they dipped below 45 again, recovered it, and then ripped up back again. Funny how the high of this candle was 78.25, basically our pivot of 77.50. And once we retest that pivot and rejected, that was all the market had. It took out all these lows. It didn't even stop at Tuesday's lows. It gave Tuesday's low a little try recovery and closed back below, and it was just good night. And now here we are with the current setup where I saw this low being put in and it looks like they were trying to bounce. You don't ever want to try and buy this bounce. You want to see some structure being built, and then you want to see a liquidation of the structure that recovers. That is currently what's happening right now. It is a liquidation of the structure that recovered, and we should now run back up for a back test. I will say that for tomorrow, I do think a major short squeeze is on the way. It's been 6 days since we've had a green day, but don't be fooled. We've had tons of great long trades in this downtrend. And I would argue it was easier to long those major support reclaims than it was to short this market, because the shorts were kind of overthrowing certain areas. But when you were longing this market, it gave some clear cut entries currently, like this one right now. When you see stuff like this, it tends to build your confidence to understand how markets work. I was looking for a 65 dip and recovery. We got to 59.75. All I wanted to see was a liquidation of this base that we created. Well, first I wanted to see us put in a base, and I saw this retest here, and it looked like big bullish candle. We were about to move higher. And I used to get fooled on stuff like this, thinking that this was the entry. And lo and behold, I would have been trapped long, then I would have got liquidated, and then it would have came back, and I would have had a couple things to say. One would be, oh, my stop wasn't big enough. Or two would be, oh, they're just hunting my stop loss. But in reality, you should always enter after a trap. This is a very clear-cut trap, and we've definitely put in a nice little trap here, and this should definitely make a substantial move higher now, because we put in a nice little base, liquidated anyone who was trying to catch this long, and now the market is free to make its move higher without all of those traders that were trying to catch the long at the close or on futures open, etc. And I'm not a predictor, but this setup right here is very powerful and could ignite a major short squeeze, recover that 24 low and even that 45 low, and you're getting a major squeeze. But my general lean, I was going to tell you that my general lean for tomorrow was to stay bullish and just look for a trap before entering, and the trap would have been below this low in recovery. However, ES decided to do that while I was making this video. So now that you're seeing it happen in real time, it's pretty fascinating. You could actually enter anywhere at this point because the trap's been set, and they typically don't come back to retest to give anyone room to get back in. So this might just definitely will make its move up to 93, and then not sure what it does from there, how much energy it'll have overnight, but trap's been set, and I will assume by the morning time I'll be saying we have an active false breakdown setup and targets are way higher. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a major substantial move to close the week, because if I take you to a weekly chart, I think you'll notice that a prior major weekly low was this 59.35.50 area. I wouldn't be surprised if ES tries to make a run at trying to close back above that low. If it closes back above that low, the bulls will definitely be back in control. Failure to get back above that low, though, might ensue another leg lower. But I wouldn't be surprised at us making a pretty substantial move overnight, trying to recover that low. I don't think it would happen overnight. It might happen tomorrow's session, but I would pretty much keep an eye out for 59.35 tomorrow. It might actually be a target in if you're swinging something or if you're looking where to take profits. You know my stance on taking profits. You should always just take your 10 points and move on. In this case here, this is very powerful. I could see this playing out in a very, very strong way. And uh, feeling a little bit of FOMO here, although I think the entry would be here, honestly. You wouldn't have tried to guess whether this candle would recover or not. You would take it when seeing it recover. But it's very nice practice. Um, but that's enough for today's video. I just wanted you guys to see this and see what I was looking for tomorrow. But that's a major move to put in overnight that could result in a very substantial move higher. Now we have the energy and power to do so. And this hourly candle, let's see how it would look. In terms of hourly candles, that candle could probably put on a nice big hammer by the time we get to the hourly close, which is in about 12 minutes. And in that case, I mean, it's all she wrote. You'll see a pretty big, substantial move higher. So that's all for now, but I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video, recapping tomorrow's action to see if we nailed that trade or not. Currently speaking, that trade would have worked already on the recovery of the 73 low after a trap lower. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.